Hey, Tyler here, and I want to wish everyone a happy Halloween. The movie I'm going to review is an older one. It's the original 1978 John Carpenter classic, Halloween. Yes, there isn't a sequel-ish movie in theaters now, Halloween 2018, which takes place 40 years later, but that's for another review. This one will be about the original, and it is a true horror classic. It might not have been the first slasher flick, or even the first horror movie based upon a holiday, but it took all the best qualities of these movies and made one epic slasher horror movie. We started off with just a POV shot of a kid going up the stairs. You don't know what's going to happen. And then he enters this room, and there's this semi-clad woman, and all you see is a knife come and stab, 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 stab. And then you just follow the eyes out. And then we learn who it was. It was a young Michael Myers, people. And man, that is probably one of the best build-ups to an evil character that I've ever seen. Man. And then we go into the movie, where we get to meet Dr. Loomis, played by the late Donald Pleasant, and we get to see Laurie Strode, played by none other than Jamie Lee Curtis. And it was just an amazing way that these two conveyed their characters. With Dr. Loomis, you see him at the hospital, just freaking out because Michael Myers escaped. He's like, I gotta stop this. He's going home.
You can get back in there and get back on that telephone, tell him exactly who walked out of here last night, and tell him exactly where he's going.
Probably going.
I'm wasting my time.
Sam Haddonfield is 150 miles away from here. Now, for God's sakes, he can't drive a car.
He was doing very well last night. Maybe someone around here gave him lessons.
And then with Laurie, she's like, almost like a misguided teenager. Right? She's not the most popular one, but she's trying to fit in, is from what I got from her. And then we get to meet the two little kids during the film, close to the beginning. These two kids are the ones that Laurie and one of her friends are going to be taking care of later on in the movie. But then we also get the story of Michael Myers during that time, and that's like, he just killed, he's just leaving bodies in his path on his way back to his hometown of Haddonfield. And you get some teenage jinx in this, like the smoking weed in the car and trying to hide it from your parents. And the thing is, your parent is the chief of police. You also...
My dad! Get rid of this!
Hi, Annie. Laurie.
Hi, Dad. What happened?
What?
What happened?
Oh, somebody broke into the hardware store. Probably kids.
You blame everything on kids.
You also have, like, the drinking and the very horny one, which is completely crazy. But it starts to really build up. Like, it's this slow build towards the climax, which I love. The atmosphere and the music towards it. You have, like, Lori in the school just looking out the window, and you see Michael Myers there. And then she looks again, and he's not. And then her and her friends are walking down the street, and you see Michael Myers. She's like, holy crap, who is that? Her friend goes to see, there's no one there. So it's like, is she really seeing him, or is she losing her mind? That was masterfully done. Which is just, I enjoyed it so much with that mysterious thing. And what's really driven me, like, Halloween has been an inspiration to me for my filmmaking. And then you see the car going around, like the car Michael stole, which is interesting. Kind of weird that a guy that's been locked up in an insane asylum for so many years knows how to drive. So we got Loomis finally getting to the police station, and he's warning them. He's going on a mad tirade. He's like, Michael Myers is coming back. Michael Myers is coming back. And of course, no one's believing him. But the way Donald Pleasant conveys the fear and terror of this guy is expertly done. And then we get to the main portion of the movie. And if you haven't seen it, which is kind of weird in 40 years if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. And so her friend that's taking care of the one girl brings it over to Lori and the kid that she's babysitting, because she wants to hook up with her boyfriend to, So Lori's taking care of the two kids. And her best friend is off to drive to pick up her boyfriend. But lo and behold, Michael Myers is in the car, and he just strangles her to death. So shortly after that, their other friend and her boyfriend, who kind of looks like a geek, come in, realize that no one's there, so instead of wondering what's happening, where is everyone, they just go in, drink the beers, and have sex in the person's house bedroom. And so they have done their sex, they're smoking in the bed. It's like total teenage cliche, breaking all the rules and all that stuff. Like, that's your triad of cliches for the slasher flick. You got teenage. It has to be teenage. It's usually teenagers. They're having unmarital sex, drinking, and smoking. So that's your triad there. So the girl asks her boyfriend to go down and get some more beers because they're thirsty, so she's smoking in bed, all that stuff. And so the guy goes down there, and it's a very dark scene, not like dark tone, but darkly lit, which I find it just adds to the suspense to it. Like, it adds to the mood, adds to the fear, and it makes it more realistic, which is another characteristic that I like to incorporate into my movies when I make them, is that they're real. It's not like this beautifully lit up Hollywood set. No. It's a dark room, like you would actually be going, what it actually looked like at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at night. So he's gone there to grab the beers, and then you hear the heavy breathing. And he's like, who is it? Come out, you guy, I'm gonna... Acting all macho and tough. And then out comes Michael Myers, and just with the grabs him, brings him up to the door, and one thrust with the knife kills him, and he's literally hanging there by one knife. His feet are not touching the ground, and probably one of the coolest kills I've seen. Like, today's kills are all based on gore and how much blood is spilt and everything. This one, I think, is better than that because it's suspenseful. It comes out at you, and it just terrifies the living shit that someone can attack you when you think you're the safest. So, after that, he goes up to the room, dressed in a sheet, and all you hear is that heavy breathing, and he's wearing the guy's glasses. So the girlfriend thinks it's him. He's like, oh, come over here, let's continue, and all that fun stuff. She's like, he just stands there, silently, just all you hear is the breathing. So she calls Lori, and as she's calling Lori, he takes the cord of the phone and he strangles her. And all you hear on the phone is like her going, So Lori thinks she's just calling her to make sure during the act. It's really interesting that after this fact, Lori's like, where is everyone? Blah. And so she goes over to the house, sees the dead body of her one friend with the tombstone of Judy Myers, who was the girl that was killed at the beginning of the movie by young Michael Myers. That is like one of the most iconic scenes in a horror movie you will see. And then she runs into Mike Myers. She falls down the stairs, and you got some great, amazing camera angles of Michael Myers, make him look, in the lighting, make him even look 10 times more terrifying than he already is. And Michael Myers is a terrifying character. So she runs, she's screaming, and she's injured, like she effed up her leg. And then she's running, trying to get people are ignoring her, thinking it's just some teenager out there trying to get attention. So she finally runs back to the house where she's babysitting, tells the kids to open up and lock the door. She has the first confrontation with Michael Myers. She stabs him with the knitting, like some sort of knitting needles, and rushes the kids upstairs, and it's like, I killed the boogeyman. And the kid's like, you can't kill the boogeyman. And she's like, so he's coming up the stairs. The music's going. It's a perfect atmosphere. And so she hides in the closet. He busts that closet door down, and then she stabs him again with a coat hanger. And you think she's dead. She's safe. He comes back from behind her for a third time. It looks like she's going to die. Dr. Loomis comes in, shoots him. Boom, 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 boom. He falls out the window. You think he's dead. Loomis goes, looks at him. There's no body there. And all you get is this feeling of dread. You hear heavy breathing. The music's playing. That's probably the best cliffhanger to ever done. The whole movie altogether, amazingly done. Dr. Loomis has so many memorable scenes, especially the one monologue when he's at the old Myers house telling the sheriff who Michael Myers is.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
And you can't do this movie justice. It's like capturing lightning in a bottle. everything was right. From the writing, to the directing, to the acting, to the soundtrack, to special effects. Like, there's very little special effects. Not much killing in this movie, but it makes it that much better. It makes you think, people. It scares you with suspense. It scares you with the sound, music. It scares you with the camera work, the lighting. And that's what makes a true horror movie. Not this, how much gallons of blood can I put on the screen? Like, yes, those are terrifying, but in a sick way. This is scary psychologically, which is a more pronounced scare. And there's so much good this movie has done. That's why it went on for so long. Right? That's why they had a Halloween 2. And when Halloween 3 came out, Season of the Witch, people were rioting because there was no Michael Myers in it. Even though Halloween 3 in itself is a good movie. Then you got 4, 5, and 6. Not the best. It really kind of butchered the character of Michael Myers and made him from this like unique psychotic killer that's just pure evil to a puppet, pretty much, of a cult. And then you had H2O, which should have been the end of it, but then we got Halloween Resurrection. Most people bash Halloween Resurrection. I kind of enjoyed it. It was more of a spoof of a horror film than an actual horror film, but the kills were pretty good in it too. Then you had the Rob Zombie remakes, which delved more into who Michael Myers is, which kind of, again, took away from the mysticism of who Michael Myers is. And now you got the one that just came out, Halloween 2018, which I think brings back some of that mysticism of Michael Myers, of him just adding a body count. You don't know why this. He's just pure evil. And that's what the first movie made him out to be. And everything substantially after that kind of diminished the character. And trying to explain why he's killing. But you don't need to know why a person kills. They are just evil. Look at some of the most psychotic killers in real life, like Ted Bundy, Son of Sam, Jack the Ripper, BTK killer. The Night Stalker. Like, there's on and on. Charles Manson. They were all fucked in the head. You don't need to give them an explanation why they did certain things, except they were fucked. They're evil. And that's why the original Halloween is so masterfully, is considered like the pinnacle of a slasher flick. That's why after Halloween we had the numerous other slasher movies, like Friday the 13th, like Nightmare on Elm Street, like Scream, like Chucky, and Child's Play, and all that other stuff. It started, it might not have, the first slasher flick might not have been Halloween, but it was the catalyst that launched the slasher flick genre. I can't say so many, there's so much good stuff about this movie, I just can't justify it. You have to go watch it. I would give this movie, in my own opinion, a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I can't justify a perfect score because it, the beginning is kind of slowish, and Laurie's friends are kind of one-dimensional, but that's what makes them that's what makes it so, like, which kind of diminishes their deaths a bit because they were so one-dimensional. But overall, this is as close to perfection as you're going to get in a horror movie, in my opinion. You might disagree. I respect your opinion, people. This is my opinion. Please respect mine. And again, hope you all have a wonderful Halloween and enjoy. Trick or treat, baby.